What is your favorite story about Miss Haskell?
Miss Liz, wow.
Did you know Liz was the Rosa Parks of the Boblo boat?
And then there was the Action House.
Come on over to the Action House. Come on over where the action is.
She said, oh no, we're gonna fight this. And she did, and she won.
From what I understand from my nieces, we all visited Aunt Liz as kids. And it wasn't until Ms. Cooper's article that I became aware of what she was involved in. Like, I knew about Action House and that kind of thing, but I didn't know the weight of what she was involved with the Boblo boat case. The article talked about her being the Rosa Parks of the Boblo boat. So when you hear, anytime you hear Rosa Parks and the significance she played in the civil rights movement, you take a step, you focus in on that. We're always looking to know and understand our history, and by our history I mean African American history, not only within America but beyond, but certainly within America within this context. You're just taken aback by it because you wonder how come you didn't learn this stuff in school. But this clearly fits into the scope of changing things for African Americans in this country. So it's nice to know, it's interesting to know, it's powerful to know. So I just brought a sampling of some of the things that were in some of the artifacts that I collected from her house. And this is a copy of the actual article that Ms. Cooper wrote. She had several copies of it. She made copies of it. They were also in the book. And like I said, this was my introduction to her activism, that side of her. Another article that was in her artifacts is, this one's dated Monday, August 7th, 1967. Neighbors of Two Races map moves to prevent ghetto. So this talks about her level of activism within the community to build an interracial coalition, to find out what they have in common, to create a neighborhood, a community that they can all be involved in, which at the time went against the segregationist practices of the city at the time, and kind of give you a sense that she was probably a bit of a Renaissance woman. An article from the Detroit News dated December 3rd, 1968. Action House is a center of hope, and so it has a picture of Aunt Liz there. She's a formidable woman. I think she had to be to live and to take on the issues that she was taking on. You had to be. I think she carried herself in a way in which people paid attention. When she spoke, people listened. It wasn't just an occupation for her; it was a way of life. She made a home for people. I mean, she literally lived next door to this place. And so for people who want to honor that space, I think it's a great honor for her. I think it's great for the community. Here's another picture of her and actual Ray, and I have another picture of them with their fur baby. This is the only one I'm aware of. Okay. I have Ray Haskell's obituary, a copy of that. And he was married to Liz for 38 years. And that's incredible, that they were able to find that kind of peace in that relationship for such a long period of time. Because, when you're in a relationship with somebody, especially as somebody who comes from a different racial background, it's just you and that person. But what they had to deal with when they went outside and they lived in an overtly racist society kind of gives you an idea of the kind of bond they had to have shared. Here's a picture of her and Harry Belafonte. You got to think that if she is hanging around a guy like him and knowing his activism, that she was involved in some pretty high-level, heady stuff, because Harry Belafonte has been a long-time activist for African Americans, and she's rubbing elbows with him. It just kind of gives you an idea of the level of commitment and involvement that she took this thing to. She was able to get attention, and as a result, get resources that made a difference in the community that she served. it's fitting right there on the Canadian side of Belle Isle. I went out to the edge of the water, edge of the river, and I poured her ashes in. I can't imagine a better place for her to be. It was just me and Liz. It's nice to know that, to some degree, that history's being rewritten by acknowledging her role in a greater movement to make this country a better place. And it came right from here in Detroit. And hopefully her story can serve as an example for others to be more active in the communities from which they come. And that goes for me as well as for really anybody. I mean, because it is going to take the people in the community to make their communities better. No one's going to come save you. No one's coming from the outside to save you. So her example is important in that regard. So I hope it can inspire people to action.